arteries of the heart here. All right, so let's do the big one first. I'm going to take all these big vessels off, and we're going to look at right here. This is my right coronary artery right here on top of the heart. And this big one right here is the left coronary artery. We're going to talk about the branches of the left coronary artery first. So if they tag right here on this heart, this is your left coronary artery. However, on this heart, you really can't see the smaller heart. You're not going to be able to see the left coronary artery because it's hidden under the auricular flap, the left auricle here. But the first of the branches that you're going to see is this big one right here going down the wall of the heart. Do you remember what wall comes here between the two ventricles? That's called the interventricular septum. So there is a groove here on the top of the heart, you'll notice, and that's called the interventricular groove. And you're going to notice that there's an artery and a vein here. If he tags the artery, that is called the anterior interventricular artery right here. And then we follow this left coronary artery. There's an artery that goes around the heart. That is called the circumflex artery right here. And then there's an artery going down the left edge of the heart. That is called the left marginal artery. So those are the three main branches. Let's look at that right here. You can see that this artery would be the anterior interventricular artery. You see an artery going around the back here. Y'all see this right here, that artery going around, wrapping around. That's called the circumflex artery, and then it branches off. Margin means edge. You can see this artery going right down the edge of the heart. That is the left marginal artery. Any questions on that? All right. Now, the right coronary artery, it's only got two branches. They call the big one right here in the front of the heart, the anterior interventricular, they call it the left anterior descending. You'll hear it called the LAD, which is called the widowmaker. So if you have a major blockage of that, it's 99% blocked, you have a heart attack at your LAD, that's the widowmaker that's going to kill you. Usually, you're going to not survive that heart attack. So these are all the vessels that you can bypass. The right coronary artery, which always sometimes gets blocked as well, there is one going right on the edge of the heart here. What would you probably call this one on the right edge of the heart? The right marginal artery. And you can see that pretty clearly here. There's an extra one here. You don't need to worry about that one. However, you need to know about the right marginal artery. Everybody's hearts are a little bit different. It depends on how active and fit you are. Some of you will have extra arteries to your heart because you're such a high fitness buff or guru. You're going to have more arteries to your heart just to be healthy. So here's your right marginal artery, and then if you go to the back of the heart, you're going to go down, and there's one right on the back wall of the heart, and that's going to be called the posterior interventricular artery back here. All right, so just two majors. Let's go ahead again. Now if they tag this big artery right here on top of the heart right here, this is the right coronary artery. The one going down the edge is the what? The right
marginal artery.
The one going in the back is the right posterior
interventricular artery.
The artery in the heart here, this big one, you can actually see it. If they tag this, they're asking for the left what? Coronary artery. It starts to wrap around the heart. That's called the what? Circumflex artery. And you can't see the marginal here. And again, the edge of the heart, left marginal artery here. So those are the arteries of the heart. We're going to go now to the veins of the heart. These are fairly simple. On this one, I always like to start right here on the top of the heart. Again, this is the interventricular groove. I like to say you have gas, G-A-S, gas. Great cardiac vein, A is anterior cardiac vein, and S is small cardiac vein. So you have gas on the heart. So again, please note that the great cardiac vein is in the interventricular groove. So what artery is accompanying the great cardiac vein? That's what is this red one called? That's the anterior interventricular artery, and next to it, or right with it, you have your great cardiac vein. So please write that note. It runs together with the anterior interventricular artery.
So on the red are the arteries and blue are the veins?
On the heart itself.
Okay.
Yeah, but when you get up here, that's where it starts to change. So don't get that confused. That's an easy mistake to make. All right. So we have the great cardiac vein here. Please do not call this thing back here the great cardiac vein. What is this thing called again? That's the coronary sinus. So all these veins are going to drain and go back into the coronary sinus. All right, so next to that GA, what does the A stand for? Anterior what? Cardiac vein. That runs right on top of the right ventricle. That's where you see that one right here, on top of the right ventricle. And so GAS, the S stands for what? Small cardiac vein. It's running together with another artery. So what artery is here on the edge of the heart? This is the right marginal artery. So the small cardiac vein runs together with the right marginal artery. You can see that right there. What artery is in the back of the heart? That's called the what? Posterior interventricular artery. There is a vein running right next to that. That is going to be the middle cardiac vein. So right that next to the middle cardiac vein, it runs together with the posterior interventricular artery.
What one is it?
This one.
What is it?
That's the middle cardiac vein.
And it runs with what?
The posterior interventricular. So I'm in the back of the heart now. I have the middle cardiac vein running together with the posterior interventricular vein. I've got another vein here that's extra. We don't need to worry about that. We'll skip that one in the middle. However, there's this vein right back here running together with the left marginal artery. We have the posterior vein of the left ventricle. Is that what I have there listed? So that runs together with the left marginal artery. Those will give you all your reference points for the heart. With the left marginal artery. See that right here? And all of these veins, they oxygenate the heart, they go to the veins, and all those veins dump into this large thing right here called the coronary what?
Sinus.
And they're going to go into here, and you're going to find this hole here, which is called the what? The opening for the coronary sinus. It's going to fill this chamber. What chamber is this again? The right atrium. So it's going to go back to the heart and get oxygen. Make sense? All right, let's review again real quick. All right, so what artery would be right here on the heart? This would be the right
Coronary artery.
Good. There's one that comes around the edge of the heart, which would be the right
Marginal.
artery, and the one on the back of the heart is called the posterior interventricular. You won't see it on this heart, it's been covered. All right. What is this artery right here going this way to the left? This is the left coronary artery, and that big artery coming down the front of the heart is called the what? Anterior interventricular artery. What is the blue thing running together with it called? The great cardiac vein. Good. Left coronary artery comes around here. The one going around the whole heart is called the circumflex artery, and the artery going down the edge of the heart is called the left what? Marginal artery. All right. I'd like to say you have gas of the heart. So we have your great cardiac vein here. The one on, you don't even see it here. This would be your anterior cardiac vein would be here, and your small cardiac vein is back here. Going to the back of the heart, we have this artery going right down the ventricle wall here. That artery is called, the red one is called the middle what? Oh, no, not the middle. It's called the posterior interventricular artery, and the vein running next to it is called the what? Middle cardiac vein. We skip the one over here. What is the vein running next to the left marginal artery called? That's the posterior vein of the left ventricle. So those are the circulatory system in the heart. So please study that. Any questions on that, ladies and gentlemen? All right. We're going to go on now to the